Hello guys, welcome to another video. Can you imagine a situation where millions of homes in United States face power outages? That too, not due to any natural disasters, but because of a geopolitical standoff. So Canada, under Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, has issued a stark warning to the US that if tariffs are imposed, electricity supplies from Canada may be cut off. So this bold move has sparked debate not only in Canada and the US, but also across the world. So, today in this session, we are going to dive deep into this contentious issue and we'll try to analyze its implication and also will uncover why this development could backfire on Canada itself. Let's talk about the energy exchange between the Canada and the US. See, Canada and US have been major energy partners for decades, and Canada exports electricity to the US primarily generated from clean renewable sources like hydroelectric power, which actually account for about 60% of Canada's energy production. And this exchange is not just about power, it's also about fulfilling climate commitments. The US has historically relied on Canadian clean energy to offset its emissions and meet climate targets. So, in return, the US actually export fossil fuel based electricity to Canada. So, this symbiotic relationship has been mutually beneficial, at least until now. Now, Trudeau's threat and its context we need to understand here. See, the controversy began when Canadian officials, including Ontario Premier Doug Ford, hinted at cutting off electricity supplies to the US in response to potential 25% tariff imposed by former, upcoming US President Donald Trump. So he will be assuming the power in Jan 2025, and he already gave that warning that he will be imposing this tariff. So these tariffs, if you see, are aimed to balance the trade deficit between the two nations. And from Trump's perspective, if you see, the US imports more from Canada than its exports. So justifying the tariffs, right? So because you can, even if there is no surplus, you can at least make it equal. But Trudeau's counter threat to cut electricity reflect an aggressive stance that risk escalating the situation unnecessarily. Now, why I told that this threat could backfire on Canada itself. Let's be very clear here. Canada's threat to cut power to the US is more symbolic than practical. The trade of electricity between the two nations has significantly balanced out in recent years. Canada historically exported more electricity to the US, but recent trends show a near equal exchange. If Canada cut off supplies, the US can retaliate by halting its electricity export to Canada also. So this tit for tat strategy would harm both sides in both the countries, but the impact on Canada's economy could be disproportionately severe. What is the US perspective here? See, under President Donald Trump, the US showed little interest in climate change commitments, focusing instead on, boosting domestic oil and gas production. Trudeau's threats may resonate in domestic Canadian politics, portraying him as a stronger leader, but they are unlikely to influence a US policymaker who prioritize economic over the environmental concerns and those commitments related to climate change. Moreover, the current dynamics in the energy trade that makes this threat less intimidating than Trudeau might hope actually. Let's talk about Trudeau's leadership challenges here. See, Trudeau's approach to international relations, whether with India or the US, has been marked by aggression and controversy. Now, we have discussed a lot about Trudeau in different videos. And if you look at the critics, they argue that his, combative policies have worsened Canada's diplomatic standing. For example, if you see his strained relationship with India over political issues has already led to a breakdown of bilateral tie between India and the US. Now, with this energy ultimatum to the US, Trudeau risks alienating yet another powerful ally. See, let's talk about the economic and political implications. See, the potential fallout of the standoff extend beyond energy. Cutting off electricity supplies could lead to severe economic disruptions on both sides of the border. For Canada, the loss of billions in energy export, the revenue that they get from that would compound its economic challenge also. Politically, such actions could erode trust between the two nations and can create geopolitical challenge also, and that will complicate future negotiation between two countries on trade and various energy policies as well. Now, what's the public reaction and also the expert criticism? We can discuss that. See, Trudeau's stance has drawn sharp criticism from experts and the public figures like Elon Musk. If you see, for instance, he openly called Trudeau an insufferable tool. That's a term denoting someone unaware of being manipulated or making misinformed decisions. So, this reflects a broader skepticism about Trudeau's ability to navigate complex geopolitical issues. The Canadian public may see these moves as attempt to bolster his, domestic image rather than genuine effort to resolve the disputes. So, see, this unfolding situation actually offers a critical lesson for leaders across the world. Diplomacy require calm, calculated strategies, not impulsive threats like what Trudeau is making now. The repercussions of Trudeau's aggressive policies demonstrate the importance of fostering collaboration over confrontation. Leaders must focus on improving relations, not straining them further, especially with crucial partners like the US, India, like that. Now, what's the future? So, let me conclude this. See, in conclusion, what we can say is Canada's threat to cut off electricity to the US is more about political posturing than a practical policy. It is more of symbolic. It may appeal to domestic audiences and it can make them happy, but it risks significant economic and diplomatic fallout. This scenario highlights the need for leaders to adapt and adopt pragmatic solution oriented approaches to the international relation rather than reacting like this. Okay, so the Canada US energy partnership has been a cornerstone for their relationship, and jeopardizing it would be a dice disservice to both nations. So, guys, that's about this session, and thank you for joining. What are your thoughts on this issue? Should Canada stand firm on, or is it the time to seek diplomatic solutions? So, let me know in the comment section. See you in the next video.